Welcome to the MasterMind Library. They call me Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and one of your hosts of the MasterMind Library, the home of the MasterMind Book Club on FHTII.com. So today we are in episode 162, and the chapter title is about your metabolism. So today in my live audience, I've got Trigger, he's asleep, and I've got Huey, and I've got Sincere over here. So they're listening in. Let's go ahead and dive right into our chapter in the Ageless Woman. All right, let's put one thing over here real quick, and then we can get started. See what's going on here. Pardon me just for a second. All right, now we're good. Okay, let's put that there. We can get on with it. All right. Now, let's move to where we need to be in our chapter. We need to be on page 90. All right, chapter 5, your metabolism. Key to resolving your more serious symptoms. Should be good. Let's make sure everybody can see that good. All right, cool. Looks like everybody can see it. All right, now, healthy tissues bestow happiness and vitality. Polluted tissues bring misery and disease. The Kashyapa Samhita. All right. You have seen how your mild midlife symptoms result from your doshas being out of balance and can be easily resolved when you take steps to restore balance. More serious symptoms, however, such as persistent hot flashes, chronic insomnia, or excess weight gain, are signs of deeper imbalances that will persist to set the stage for later disease if left untreated. What causes your more serious symptoms? A classic textbook of Ayurvedic medicine, the Charaka Samhita, states that a simple imbalance of your doshas is not enough to cause serious health problems. For more troublesome symptoms and disease to manifest, the actual tissues of your body, your bones, muscles, fat, organs, skin, and blood must be affected in some way. Modern medical theory and the ancient texts alike acknowledge that for disease to be present, your tissues and their organs must be seriously disturbed. But modern medicine tends to ignore the causes leading up to that disturbance. Instead, most doctors merely offer the current range of symptomatic treatments, such as anti-inflammatory drugs or painkillers, and state apologetically that they don't know what has caused your fibromyalgia, colitis, or other disorder. In this chapter, we will look through the lens of Maharishi Ayurveda to see the causes of your more serious symptoms before embarking on a program to correct and eliminate them in chapter 6. You may have identified some of your more troublesome symptoms on the self-rating scale in chapter 2. How balanced are you? My patient Victoria's experience shows how your serious symptoms can be due to underlying causes that are treatable with MAV. Victoria's Secret, the mistaken menu. I was surprised when Victoria came to my office for a consultation about her midlife symptoms. I knew her as an accomplished, wellness-oriented psychotherapist who is highly respected in her community. She impressed me as one of those dynamic, together individuals who seem able to do it all, including staying healthy and happy despite a very busy lifestyle. However, Victoria told me she had recently been feeling very tired and sluggish and had begun to have severe hot flashes, night sweats that disturbed her sleep, and annoying mood swings, a classic triad of menopausal symptoms. To make matters worse, a benign thyroid nodule she'd had for several years started to get larger. Victoria knew something was wrong in her body, and she was desperate for some relief. She had tried a high soy diet and several over the counter herbal products for hot flashes, but without much success. She wanted relief for her menopausal symptoms, but she wanted it naturally, without hormone therapy. Given the wellness orientation of her practice, I assumed Victoria had been following some kind of healthy regimen herself. Yet here she was in my office describing her rather severe menopause problems. I was perplexed. Something didn't quite add up. I began my inquiry by asking Victoria whether the past few years had been particularly stressful. She admitted that in the past 5 years, she had been burning the candle at both ends, growing her practice and taking care of her school age children. She let her exercise program slide and hadn't been as careful with her diet as in previous years. There had been extra stress in her family with the passing away of her husband's parents and, as she described it, just a lot to deal with. I proceeded to the next step of diagnosis, an examination of Victoria's pulse in order to determine the overall state of balance in her body. Reading the pulse is traditionally one of the most important aspects of the physical exam in MAV. It gives you a direct way to determine the state of balance of the doshas and the tissues, as well as the strength of digestion. In contrast to the dynamism and drive that she radiated outwardly, Victoria's pulse felt heavy, thick, and dull. This reading alerted me that something deeper than a simple dosha imbalance was responsible for her symptoms. I followed up on Victoria's comment about her diet. The pulse of someone whose diet consists largely of vegetables, grains, and fruits with minimal animal products normally has a light, clear, and lively quality, a sign that there is little or no toxic buildup in the body. This was clearly not the case for Victoria. My diet was pretty good until recently, Victoria said. About a year ago, I decided to try a popular low carb diet to drop a few of the pounds I had put on from not exercising. I lost 9 pounds. But after 6 months of eating mainly meat and cheese with very few carbohydrates, the truth is I wasn't feeling very good. Just recently, I started back on my usual healthier, more balanced diet. Mystery solved. Victoria's pulse was certainly demonstrating that you are what you eat. Now that she had filled in the missing pieces, I could see how she'd set herself up for the moderate to severe menopausal symptoms she was experiencing. 5 years earlier, she had begun eating on the run, staying up late at night, and exercising less frequently, if at all. Then in the past year, she'd followed an unbalanced diet consisting largely of animal products and meat and cheese. The cumulative effect of her erratic lifestyle and food choices that challenged digestion was showing up in her pulse reading as dullness, heaviness, and lethargy. I explained to Victoria that right before menopause is not a good time to be eating heavy, hard to digest foods. Digestion slows with age, and foods like meat and cheese can cause sluggishness and blockages that make it harder for the body to adapt to the changing hormone levels of menopause. A month later, I was pleased to hear from Victoria that she had followed the diet and herbal recommendations I had prescribed and was feeling much better. Her smooth, her smooth, excuse me, her mood, her mood swings had disappeared, and her hot flashes and sleep had improved by 90%, and she had even lost a few pounds without feeling hungry or deprived. I feel lighter and more balanced, she reported. And I am especially happy to report that the thyroid nodule is reduced. Hold on one second. The drama of Emma. If you have moderate to severe symptoms, frequent hot flashes, insomnia, joint pains, painful vaginal dryness, extreme mood swings, or other symptoms, then it's possible that you, like Victoria, have blockages that are causing your symptoms. According to MAV, these blockages are the result of AMU, or metabolic wastes and toxins that have built up in your tissues. Although AMU, I will use the terms waste, cellular waste, impurities, and AMU interchangeably in the following discussion. This accumulated cellular waste can cause a myriad of symptoms, including gas and bloating, joint pains, chronic sinus congestion, night sweats, excessive fatigue, constipation, stiffness, muscle soreness, and brain fog. If not corrected, AMU in your tissues eventually leads to full-blown disease in the areas where it has accumulated the most. When I first described to my patients how impurities may be causing their symptoms, many of them nod their heads appreciatively. It confirms what they have known instinctively, that their bodies were loaded down with waste, a toxic overload of garbage. They have sensed that this condition was at the root of their health problems. This inner perception is highly motivating, and I find that patients with this bodily insight are, without exception, willing and eager to do whatever it takes to eliminate the AMU from their bodies and regain their natural inner lightness and vitality, even if it means making major diet and lifestyle changes. Your 7 tissues. According to the Ayurvedic understanding, 7 fundamental tissues, called dhatus, make up your body. See the sidebar, your 7 tissues. Loosely translated, these 7 tissues correspond in modern physiology to plasma, fat, bone, bone marrow, and sperm, ova. You can expect symptoms and even disease. For example, if impurities build up in your blood, heavy menstrual bleeding is likely. When AMU builds up in the smooth muscle tissues of your uterus, it can trigger the growth of uterine fibroids. Toxins in your fat tissues contribute to cellulite, weight gain, diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease. Cellular waste in your joints can lead to joint pain and arthritis. In summary, AMU accumulating anywhere in the body can lead to any number of diseases. Your tissues, like the doshas, are intelligent. Although I will be using the terms tissue and dhatus interchangeably, the term dhatu refers not only to a particular tissue, but also to the underlying intelligence that structures and supports that tissue. By understanding the full intelligent activity of your tissues, we gain access to a deeper, more complete healing approach than would otherwise be possible. The tier of your tissues. The Ayurvedic understanding sees your 7 tissues as functioning interdependently, each affecting the others in a sequence from plasma all the way to the reproductive essence. Underlying their relationship is Agni, the power of digestion and metabolism, which weaves the tissues and their functioning together to form an intelligently orchestrated dance of metabolic give and take. The tier of your tissues starts with digestion, when the food you eat is transformed in your stomach and intestines into a rich nutrient soup. The soup is absorbed across the intestinal lining into your bloodstream and passes through your liver, where it is further metabolized. Ready to feed your cells, the soup, now the first tissue, or blood plasma, enters the bloodstream and is carried to the various tissues of your body, starting with the blood, your second tissue, or red blood cells. MAV describes how your tissues receive their nourishment in an orderly lineup, each one taking its turn in a cascade of delivery, because each of the 7 tissues has its own enzymes and metabolic processes, its own Agni. Each tissue, in essence, cooks for the next tissue waiting in line. If any tissue's metabolism is weak and can't cook, it fails to nourish itself and then passes on the poorly cooked inedible mix, ama, to the next tissues down the line. Waste like ama then accumulates in your tissue. interfering with the functioning of each tissue in predictable ways and leading to specific symptoms and problems that are described in the Ayurvedic medical texts. See Chapter 6 for further details. Your symptoms and the tissue cascade. A simple example of how interruptions in the tier of your tissues can cause symptoms is iron deficiency anemia, a common problem for perimenopausal women who have heavy bleeding with their periods. If your digestion is weak, your blood may not be able to absorb adequate iron from your diet to meet your body's needs. This means your blood plasma, rasa, will be deficient in iron, which is essential to the health of the next tissue in line, the red blood cells, rakta. Without enough iron, your red blood cells will be smaller than normal and therefore carry less oxygen. The next tissue down the line, your muscles, mamsa, will be undersupplied with oxygen and become easily fatigued. This is how weak blood, rasa and rakta, translates to tired muscles, mamsa, less exercise tolerance and stamina, and a generally run-down condition. A quiz at the end of this chapter will help you identify where waste, like ama, may be causing problems in your body. Then you will be ready to design your own individualized therapeutic approach using the specific diet, herb, and lifestyle recommendations given in Chapter 6 for clearing ama from your body and restoring optimal health to your cells and organs. Ama, your hormones and your health. When your digestion fails to break down your food completely, larger than normal food particles are permitted to enter your bloodstream and circulate to your tissues. These mishappen. Oversized ama particles travel through progressively smaller and smaller channels on their way to your tissues until they lodge in narrow passageways and get stuck. A blockage of this nature can occur in any of your body's organs and tissues, cutting off channels that would otherwise carry nutrients and hormones into your cells. This blocking of hormone delivery and nutrients is an important way in which ama leads to more extreme symptoms of menopause and to degenerative conditions in later life. Your hormones cannot reach or bind with the appropriate cells. This is why soy products and sometimes even HT itself does not relieve a woman's hot flashes or other menopausal symptoms. The soy or hormone molecules just never connect with the cells that need them. In such cases, the cleansing approaches outlined in this chapter and Chapter 6 and the deeper cleansing treatments of MAV, such as Maharishi Rejuvenation Treatment, MRT, described in Chapter 10, are necessary. Digestion and your symptoms. All disease occurs due to imbalance in digestion, the Charaka Samhita. Whether or not your body makes good nutrition or makes amu, from your food depends on how strong your digestion is. In fact, the power of your digestion, known as Agni in MAV, is the single most important determinant of your health and longevity. According to MAV, good digestion and metabolism is absolutely essential for a long, healthy life. Loosely translated, Agni means fire and refers to the powerful transformative energy that breaks down and converts your food into energy to fuel your body's trillion cells. More than simply the absence of gas, bloating, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, and other bothersome maladies of the digestive system. Your Agni is a super intelligent maestro conducting all digestive and metabolic processes throughout your entire body. Remember Victoria, who ate a diet of meat and cheese just before menopause. The reason those foods cause amu buildup in her system was that her digestion, weakened by stress and irregular habits, could not provide the firepower to digest them. Digestion and metabolism is governed by Pitta dosha, which rules all chemical reactions in your body. A well-stoked Agni fire runs your body efficiently, keeping the buildup of toxic waste and debris Umo at bay. Amu at bay. A dampened digestive fire, like a campfire on a rainy day, is unable to burn its fuel, your food, completely. It leaves partially digested food materials and metabolic byproducts to collect in your tissues. Weak digestive power is also responsible for an overall decline in our assimilation as we get older. Studies on aging indicate that after the age of 40 or 50, absorption of nutrients is reduced, leading to, leading to chronic vitamin and mineral deficiencies that play an important role in chronic health problems that tend to arise in our later years. Scientific understanding is beginning to elucidate why Ayurveda puts so much emphasis on creating and maintaining ideal digestion. Your digestion and the midlife transition. During the midlife years, your digestion is particularly vulnerable to weakness. Vata dosha is particular is particular ten, Vata dosha in particular tends to become disturbed and can aggravate your digestive fire, like wind blowing on a fire, leading to ups and downs in your digestion. Sometimes your digestion works well, but other times you don't digest your food completely and suffer from heartburn, bloating, and excess wind in your intestines. If your digestion is consistently disturbed, and Amu type wastes clog your tissues as you transit through menopause. You will be especially prone to severe hot flashes and night sweats, excessive weight gain, and even high cholesterol. If these symptoms aren't corrected, you may be more prone to develop high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease down the line. In fact, any metabolic imbalances you have are likely to be unmasked when the beneficial effect of estrogen on your tissues is withdrawn at menopause. If you have been eating well and exercising, the decline in your estrogen levels at midlife is less likely to result in troublesome symptoms or the gain of many unwanted pounds. In this case, you're entering midlife with a strong and healthy Agni, which brings fire to your digestion and helps it withstand the transition without becoming upset or weakened. Your digestive fire, a victim of modern lifestyle. In our culture, turning 40 is unofficially viewed as a pivotal moment in our lifespan. After 40, it's all downhill. We expect to gradually lose our figures, if we haven't already, gain weight, and suffer a general, gradual decline in our health. But this does not have to happen. Ballooning weight, high blood sugar and cholesterol, and elevated blood pressure is not programmed into our genes. Indeed, research has found that over 80% of diabetes and heart disease, the major weight related diseases, are completely preventable through lifestyle alone. And many women do maintain their high school weight, attractive figures, and vitality throughout their lives. What could be their secret? Ask them, and they will probably tell you that they eat regular meals, a balanced diet, and go easy on the sweets and alcohol. In short, they have avoided the usual chronic lifestyle mistakes that lead to weight gain in midlife. We have seen how late nights, dinners on the run, lack of exercise, midnight pizza sprees, and constant stress over several decades can throw your doshas out of whack. Since each dosha has a role to play in digestion, imbalance in any one of them can lead to weakened digestion, umu formation, and slowing of your fat metabolism as umu clogs your fat tissue. Why do metabolism, digestion, and assimilation weaken after 40? Cumulative dosha abuse is the simple answer. How to strengthen your metabolism based on your digestive type. Disturbance in any of the three doshas can be responsible for weakening your digestion and metabolism, each dosha leading to a different symptom complex. However, the end result is the same: metabolism imbalance and weight problems. The three main digestive types are described below, along with recommendations for balancing each and restoring good metabolism. Vata, your airy dosha, fans the flames and can cause symptoms of gas and bloating when aggravated. To balance your vata digestion, be sure to eat sitting down. in a relaxed environment and favor warm, cooked foods and warm drinks. Avoid eating while you read or drive a car and right before or after exercise. Pitta provides the digestive firepower and can cause heartburn, excessive thirst, sourness, and acid reflux when aggravated. To balance your pitta digestion, be sure to eat a wholesome, cooked, balanced meal at lunchtime. Never skip or delay your meals. Avoid consuming spicy or acidic foods and avoid alcohol in excess. Kufu governs the secretion of liquid to aid digestion. When it is aggravated, your foods sit in your stomach and digestion and metabolism slow down, leaving you feeling tired and sluggish. If you have Kufu digestion, you will be more prone to quick weight gain and are most in need of regular exercise. To fire up your sluggish digestion and metabolism, always have your main meal at noon. Avoid eating heavy meals late at night and avoid cold, frozen, or leftover foods. Favor low glycemic vegetables and legumes, eat fewer grains, and avoid sugar. Modern medicine meets Umu. Modern medicine is no stranger to Amu. Although it doesn't have a general term for it, medical science recognizes specific types of illness caused by accumulated metabolic waste. It knows AMU as excess cholesterol, free radicals, trans fatty acids, uric acid, and homocysteine, among others. Atherosclerosis, blockage of the arteries due to disturbances in cholesterol metabolism, gallstones from sludgy, amu-laden bile, gouty arthritis due to excess uric acid from faulty protein metabolism, or kidney stones from the buildup of calcium or oxalic acid are all diseases that result from the buildup of AMU. According to MAV theory, not only these, but nearly every chronic disorder involves accumulation of some form of AMU somewhere in the body. At its worst, AMU can stimulate an immune reaction against it, resulting in inflammation, a condition known as pitta charged or toxic AMU, AMU visha in Ayurvedic terminology. Indeed, the last medical theory credits inflammation as the key underlying factor in many chronic diseases, including heart disease and cancer. What modern medicine does not address is what causes the inflammation to begin with. Rather than a chance confused immune response, Ayurveda understands inflammation as the body's healing response, at work trying to eliminate the toxic amu that underlies it. Clear out the toxins, Ayurveda advises, and the inflammation will resolve without anti inflammatories, steroids, or other drugs and their harmful side effects. Given another 100 years, modern medicine will surely have some natural side effect free answers to chronic inflammation. These will probably closely resemble the Ayurvedic ones we know today, or may even be adopted directly from the Ayurvedic tradition. Fortunately, we can shortcut decades of research on inflammation, toxins, and waste and begin to utilize solutions today by looking more closely at the MAV healing approach to your metabolism, digestion, and problems resulting from them, including weight gain, your metabolism, and your weight. The most common metabolic imbalance for women at midlife and later is disturbance in MEDA, the tissue governing your fat, hormone, and carbohydrate metabolism. Since all your body's hormones interact on the level of MEDA, it is not surprising that as your hormones begin to fluctuate and then drop off sharply, your fat and carbohydrate metabolism may go a bit haywire also. Disturbed fat metabolism helps to explain why you may be gaining weight from midlife on for no reason. You may not even be eating more, but still, year by year, the scale creeps up. According to Ayurveda, your fat tissue has accumulated AMU and therefore no longer metabolize as well. The next consequence can be that your fat cells stop responding to insulin, elevated blood sugar, triglycerides, and eventually diabetes can be the end result. Since maida is connected to the kidneys, hypertension is also predicted from maida imbalance. Modern medicine has recently identified this complex of imbalances predicted long ago in MAV and termed it the metabolic syndrome. Linguistically speaking, these syndromes stem from identical origins, with metabolic utilizing the Sanskrit root maida. Perhaps we should call it the metabolic syndrome. Nearly 25% of Americans currently have the metabolic syndrome, with 40% over the age of 60 having the condition. Both modern medicine and Ayurveda recognize this pattern of imbalance as a risk factor for clogging of the arteries, heart disease, and stroke. End-stage expressions of the AMU problem. In my opinion, the metabolic syndrome and the current craze for low carbohydrate diets are both born of decades of refined carbohydrate abuse by our culture. It was time for the pendulum to swing back to the other extreme. As a result of gorging ourselves day after day, year after year, on white breads, sugary sodas, snacks, sweets, and excess alcohol, over 1/4 of our population has AMU clogged maida and can no longer metabolize carbohydrates properly. While low carb diets may give a short-term weight loss advantage by bypassing this metabolic blockade, research shows that after 1 year, other, more balanced diets give comparable results. Like Victoria, avoiding carbs can induce a quick weight loss, but after a few weeks on the diet, people usually start to feel heavy, clogged, and unwell. The logical consequence of an AMU enhancing diet devoid of antioxidant rich fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and high in hormone and antibiotic laden fatty animal products. If you have the metabolic syndrome or wish to prevent it, it is not necessary to adopt a meat and cheese diet. I have found that a vegetarian or primarily vegetarian diet without sugar, white rice, white flour, and other refined carbohydrates is equally effective as a low carb diet for quick weight loss. And rather than feeling dull and clogged after several weeks on the diet, my patients feel lighter, clearer, and more energetic. A number of their other health problems beginning to disappear as well. For long-term health, there is just no substitute for a wholesome, balanced diet. The two common pitfalls to weight loss and how to overcome them. All right. Weight gain plateaus while dating. Some patients have come to me for help with weight loss after months of dieting without successful weight loss. They truly are consuming fewer calories than before, but are not losing any weight. Slow metabolism due to AMU in the fat tissue is invariably the cause. While scientists insist that weight loss is as simple as calories in, less than calories out, my patient's experience tells otherwise. At some point, just how well the body handles those calories is a factor, and that is determined by how much AMU is present. Fortunately, overcoming this problem is the norm for my patients. With maida busting techniques such as toxin dissolving herbs, boiled hot water, and a pure, simple, kufu reducing home cooked diet, most begin to lose significant weight within a month. Cravings. Cravings are another big problem for many people who wish to lose weight. What causes cravings? You guessed it, AMU, and a diet that is not balanced. When your cells don't receive the nourishment they need, they feel starved and send out false hunger signals, even if you have just finished eating a full meal. This sets you up for a vicious cycle of overeating, increased amu, and more cravings. One of the most powerful techniques for overcoming cravings is to eat a wholesome, home cooked diet for a week, using the guidelines of the Healing Meal Plan in Chapter 4. Eating fresh, organic, homemade food from the Healing Meal Plan, along with drinking plain boiled hot water frequently during the day. See below for instructions. Nearly always results in the elimination of cravings within just a few days. Resist the temptation to cook on the weekend and freeze for the week, as eating leftovers leads to amu. Furthermore, microwaving, our nation's favorite way to heat up leftovers, has been shown to destroy over 90% of the antioxidants present in vegetables. Another reason for cravings is a diet that is not completely balanced. One criterion of a balanced diet, according to Ayurveda, is that it contains each of six fundamental tastes, ideally at each meal. The six tastes are sweet, fruit, whole grains, and certain vegetables preferred over sugar, sour, lemon, orange, and salty, bitter, as in green leafy vegetables, astringent, drying and pucker inducing foods such as dried beans, pomegranate, and cranberry, and pungent, hot, spicy, as in ginger and black pepper. The Smart Spice Mix in the next chapter will provide you with a convenient way to get all six tastes in each meal. Carry it with you to restaurants and use it in your cooking, along with a squeeze of lemon or lime to ensure you get a balance of all six tastes in your diet. The role of exercise. Your fat metabolism is intimately connected to your muscle metabolism, according to both modern medicine and ancient Ayurvedic medicine. From midlife on, women and men too tend to lose lean muscle mass, especially if they do not exercise regularly. Even while at rest, muscle tissues burn more calories in a day than an equivalent amount of fat tissue. Therefore, loss of muscle tissue, loss of muscle tissue with age and sedentary lifestyle results in a tendency to put on weight, even though you may be eating the same number of calories as earlier in your life. Fortunately, this loss of muscle tissue can be largely prevented by exercise and strength training. Keeping your muscle metabolism strong through regular exercise ensures that more of what you eat gets burned by your muscles, with fewer calories being stored as fat. It also helps prevent the formation of amu in your fat tissue, the source of weight that doesn't want to come off, even with dieting. A groundbreaking study published in Consumer Reports magazine in May 2002 reported that the best diet may be no diet at all. The study of more than 32,000 dieters found that an overwhelming majority of successful losers who lost at least 10% of their starting weight credited exercise, not food deprivation, as their top strategy. 83% of the super losers, those who maintained their weight loss for 5 years or more, said they lost weight without the help of commercial diets and programs. Rather, they were successful through generally improving their diet, exercising, and being persistent with their lifestyle changes. This study shows that picking a strategy you can live with in the long run, one that involves both a healthier diet and more exercise, is the key to successful weight loss. Further studies indicate that it is easier to stick to an exercise program if you do it with others. Having an exercise partner, such as a friend or spouse, significantly increases your ability to stick with your chosen exercise. It also helps to find something you really enjoy doing, whether it is golf, Pilates, yoga, brisk walking, tennis, bicycling, dancing, skiing, or some other activity. It is very helpful to develop a passion or healthy addiction for it. If you feel better after you do the exercise, and you will, if you find an exercise you love and you have a companion or group to exercise with, chances are you will be successful. Keep in mind that the critical factor in weight loss and exercise is to adopt a balanced approach that you find appealing and be persistent. Sharon story. Hot water triumphs. Sharon, a 40-year-old mother of two, had been obese for over 15 years. At barely 5 feet and 210 pounds, she was nearly 100 pounds over her ideal weight. Although Sharon was not particularly interested in changing her lifestyle, she came to me on the urging of a friend in hopes that I might be able to help her with her weight. She confided a sweet story. Her thin and wiry 9-year-old daughter had learned in school a few days before that being overweight was dangerous to one's health. She ran home after school and shared this new knowledge with her mother, pleading with her to lose some weight. I spent over 30 minutes educating Sharon about how to improve her metabolism, reduce AMU, and lose weight using a variety of Ayurvedic techniques, such as a lighter evening meal, eating more fresh vegetables, cooking with spices, and so forth. She left filled with new ideas. However, I sensed that she was not completely convinced that it would be worth the effort. A couple of months later, I ran into Sharon. She looked different. I realized that she seemed to have lost some weight. Sharon, I asked, did you lose some weight? A little, she said. Actually, she then admitted, it was about 30 pounds. Curious, I asked her what had been working for her, hoping that something I told her might have been helpful. She confessed, I really didn't like most of the things you told me to do, but there was one thing I did, the hot water. She went on to say that the first few days of hot water, instead of her usual giant Slurpee drinks, were a bit rough, with some gurgling and discomfort in her abdomen. She stuck with it though, and after a week or so, the symptoms passed and she just started losing weight. She thanked me for inquiring, as it reminded her to go back to her hot water. About 6 months later, I ran into Sharon again, this time without recognizing her at first. She was wearing pigtails and was so trim that I thought she was someone 10 years younger. Sharon, I exclaimed, you have really lost weight. A little, she offered. No, a lot, I insisted. 90 pounds, she admitted with a smile. This time her daughter was standing next to her. What a wonderful gift you have given each other. Keep up the good work. They have. And Sharon continues to look and feel great 2 years later. 3 surefire diet tips for losing weight and keeping it off. 1. Drink boiled water. Drink boiled hot water frequently throughout the day. Sipping hot water throughout the day improves your metabolism, digestion, and assimilation, and helps cleanse the body of blockages and impurities. It also is a great aid for reducing food cravings between meals. For best results, take at least a few sips of hot water every 30 minutes throughout the day until 7 or 8 p.m. If you move about a lot during the day, purchase a stainless steel thermos and carry it with you. If you sit at a desk most of the day, you may find a cup-sized hot plate or cup warmer handy. You can pour your hot water in the cup and you can pour your hot water in the cup, put it on the warmer, and sip it throughout the day as you work. The most effective water is pure, reputable spring water that has been boiled for about 10 minutes. Boiling water for 10 minutes reduces its heavy kufu quality. You will usually see a fine powder at the bottom of the pan that consists of precipitated materials from the water and energizes the water with boiling action, vata, and heat, pitta. The end result is a water that is balancing for all 3 doshas and optimal in clearing amu and improving digestion and metabolism. Drinking water from your hot water dispenser at work is better than not drinking any at all, but is not as effective as boiled water. 2. Eat a warm, cooked main meal at noon and a lighter vegetarian evening meal. You may recall from the dosha clock in chapter 3 that digestion and metabolism are strongest at noon. Therefore, lunch should be the main meal of the day. Research confirms that the same number of calories consumed late in the day leads to weight gain, but if eaten earlier in the day, does not. Your lunch should consist of warm, cooked foods with a wide variety of tastes and dishes. Warm food is more easily digested and assimilated. Cold foods suppress digestion. Recall your high school chemistry. Cold temperature suppresses chemical reactions, and the process of digestion is chemistry. The result of regular meals of cold foods is indigestion, the accumulation of amu, and weight gain. A good, balanced lunch also helps you feel less hungry in the evening, making it easier to stick to that all important light evening meal of cooked vegetables, whole cooked grains, and soups without meat or cheese for optimal digestibility, weight loss, and metabolism. 3. Avoid leftovers. Maharishi holds that putting food in the refrigerator after it has been cooked seriously deteriorates the quality and digestibility of the food. Indeed, research has found that certain foods, including wheat and potatoes, form an indigestible starch called retrograde starch when cooked and then refrigerated. The indigestible starch causes gas and amu formation in the intestines, a recipe for blocked metabolism and weight gain. The essence of Ayurvedic food preparation is summarized in the following Ayurvedic axiom: eat fresh food, freshly prepared. Because of the time demands of our lives and logistics of shopping and cooking, this simple recommendation may be difficult to achieve all the time. However, every step in this direction will help with your weight and overall health. A convenient way to get a home cooked, nearly fresh meal of pure, wholesome ingredients for lunch each day is to cook barley and lentils, a good fat busting combination, overnight in a crock pot. In the morning, add chopped vegetables and cook for another half hour or so while you get ready for work. Before leaving, add some spices sauteed in olive oil, try cumin, black pepper, fresh ginger root, coriander, turmeric, and salt to taste. Put in a wide mouth thermos and bring for lunch. Add some rye crackers, another fat busting grain, according to Ayurveda, and fresh fruit for a well balanced, pure, and nutritious lunch. Waste and your bodily waste. It may seem redundant to speak of waste or amu in your body's waste. We normally think of urine, stool, and sweat, called mulus, in Ayurvedic medicine, as waste by their very nature. However, MAV considers bodily waste products a normal and neutral part of the body and sees them as either pure, healthy, or impure, unhealthy, and containing amu. Impure waste products, like unhealthy tissues, are the result of amu buildup. Impure wastes create symptoms in the tissues and organs in which they reside, such as urinary tract infections, irritable bowel syndrome, and constipation. When the bodily wastes are pure and eliminated in proper quantities, the body is endowed with extra strength. When they are impure or of excess or deficient quantity, the body is drained of strength and vitality. The Ayurvedic expression, no mulus, no mulu, no bulu, strength, speaks to this. Think of how, after a bout of diarrhea from an intestinal flu, your body is virtually devoid of stool, and you are left feeling weak and drained. For good health, your 3 bodily wastes should be of proper quantity and quality. Their elimination from your body should be normal, timely, and unobstructed. If not, symptoms or even disease will eventually result. Tips on how to improve the purity and health of your urine, stool, and sweat will be given in Chapter 6. Urine. Pure and healthy urine is light colored and does not have a strong smell. It is passed easily without undue urgency, frequency, or irritation, and it is devoid of bacteria. When urine is impure, it becomes a fertile medium for bacterial growth and may result in a full blown urinary tract infection, complete with frequent urination, pain, burning, and fever. UTIs are common for some women around menopause and are often blamed on lowered estrogen levels. It's true that changes in hormonal levels can cause changes in your genitourinary tissues, setting you up for UTIs. One such change is the shrinking of the tissue around the urethra where urine leaves the body. That typically occurs with reduced estrogen levels, thinning the barrier between bacteria outside outside of the bladder. Another change is that the pH acid balance of the vagina and the flora in the urogenital area may shift, causing friendly bacteria to die off and allowing unfriendly kind to flourish. However, frequent UTIs are not an inevitable consequence of menopause, nor are reduced estrogen levels their only cause. Repeated or persistent infection usually signals the presence of AMU or other impurities in the urine itself or the bladder or surrounding tissues. A buildup of AMU can act as a kind of fertilizer that helps bacteria take hold and multiply, leading to full-blown infections. Despite the hormonal shifts of menopause, if you present AMU and maintain proper diet and drinking habits, UTIs should be a rare or non-existent event. Right. Stool. Healthy bowel movements, according to Ayurveda, occur once or twice a day, ideally in the early morning upon arising and possibly again later in the day. Pure, healthy stool should resemble the size, shape, and consistency of a ripe banana and should float in water and have no foul smell. Healthy stool depends on the type of diet you eat, the health of your colon, which must include a proper balance of friendly bacteria, and the quality of digestion taking place upstream in your stomach and small intestines. Improper digestion and assimilation of food before it reaches the colon will disturb the formation of healthy stool. Sweat. Your sweat is intimately connected to the health of your fat tissue. According to MAV, sweat is a natural excretion route for toxins from your fat tissue. AMU in your fat tissue will lead to disturbances such as body odor, excessive or insufficient sweating, and infections of the sweat glands. The healing nectar of Oshas. You have seen how faulty digestion and metabolism can cause your menopausal symptoms. Now consider for a moment what it would be like if your digestion and metabolism were functioning perfectly. Everything you ate would be transformed into AMU free energy for use by your body, and you would experience a vibrantly alert and blissful state of mind and emotions. The result of having created what MAV calls OJUs. OJUs is described in MAV as the most refined and subtle essence of the physical body. When fully activated, OJUs is the bliss factor that goes beyond good health to keep you fully immune and strengthened against all disease. OJUs connects mind and matter, consciousness and physiology. As such, it is as much one of as the other. Most importantly, OJUs is the superfluid side that links the underlying intelligence of nature to its expressions in your mind and body. Modern medicine has not yet identified any one substance that correlates to OJUs, but you can understand OJUs by how it functions in your body. Think of OJUs as the opposite of AMU, where AMU is a waste product of incomplete digestion that leads to clogging toxicity. OJUs is a supremely refined, health giving elixir resulting from perfect digestion, which permeates every cell with life-giving energy, where Amu blocks the connection between any two organs, tissues, or cells in the body. Ojus connects and integrates those separate parts into a whole. Where Amu blocks the expression of the body's intelligence, Ojus enhances it. Ojus is responsible for keeping all the cells of your body functioning coherently together, much as the conductor of a symphony orchestra keeps all the instrumentalists playing as a coordinated whole in perfect harmony. The unified rhythm, beat, flow, and melodies of the human physiology are kept in synchrony and balance through the power of Ojus. When your Ojus is enlivened, you have a healthy glow on your face, and the light in your eyes burns brightly. Your hormones are communicating the right messages at the right times, in the right amounts to your cells and DNA. When Ojus is high due to Amu-free digestion and metabolism, menopause symptoms are minimal, and your body adjusts easily to its inner shift in hormones. Optimum Ojus is the key to perfect health, as well as to balanced and blissful emotions, and even the full unfolding of inner spiritual development. Ojus promotes longevity and is internally generated antidote, and is an internally generated antidote to aging. When Ojus is fully enlivened, your mental and physical stress and strain, the basis of sickness and suffering, are eliminated, and you are destined to live a long life free of disease. It has been said that the whole of Ayurveda is aimed at maximizing the production and maintenance of Ojus. For specifics, see the sidebar, signs you are becoming Ojus full. Self-assessment. Where has my Amu gone? To become Ojus full and enjoy perfect health during a symptomless menopause and beyond, you must rid your body of Amu. Since every woman accumulates Amu in a different pattern, you need to design an individualized program to help cleanse it from your tissues. The first step is to identify areas in your body, tissues, organs, bodily waste, where impurities have built up and are causing blockage. Locating these sites is important because the symptoms you experience are due to disturbances in specific body areas, those most burdened with Amu. With the help of the two assessment quizzes that follow, one for your tissues and one for your bodily waste, you can pinpoint exactly where Amu has accumulated in your body. Precise prescriptions from the Ayurvedic texts will help you reverse the symptoms of disrupted tissues and bodily waste and restore clear passageways in your body for adequate hormone delivery, tissue nourishment, and normalization of weight. Take the quiz below and use your results to create your own personal treatment plan in Chapter 6. Quiz. Which tissues are wasteful? Look at the list of symptoms for each tissue and check off the ones you are experiencing. When you are finished, total the number of symptoms for each tissue category. Then arrive at a grand total for all categories and write it on the line at the end of the quiz. What to do next? If you scored 3 or higher in any tissue category, follow the guidelines given for that tissue in Chapter 6. If you scored 2 or higher in any tissue category, eliminate any causative factors listed in the guidelines for those tissues, also in Chapter 6. This will help you to prevent problems in this area in future years. If your grand total was 14 or higher, or you have persistent symptoms not yet addressed by a physician, please see your family doctor for a checkup, including a complete history and physical as well as blood work. Your midlife symptoms may be complicated by another condition, such as hypothyroidism, arthritis, or an autoimmune disorder that also needs treatment and attention. Now take the quiz for your bodily waste. What to do next? If you score 1 or above in the urine section, follow the guidelines for purifying your urine in Chapter 6. If you scored 1 or above in the stool section, follow the guidelines for purifying your stool in Chapter 6. If you scored 1 or above in the sweat section, follow the guidelines for clearing the fat tissue, MEDA, in Chapter 6. Design your own individual program. Now that you have determined which of your tissues and bodily waste are causing your moderate to severe symptoms, you are ready to design your own individual program to rid your body of obstructing waste and impurities. The next chapter provides specific recommendations tailored to your own symptoms to help you make the channels and passageways of your body open and clear for vital nourishment and happier hormones. Eliminating AMU will reduce your symptoms and ensure your continued vitality and health for life. And that concludes our chapter 5, where we talk about metabolism. And chapter 6 on our next episode, we'll be going into purification for relief of your more serious symptoms. Yes. I picked up some great nuggets today of information. Honestly, I'd say for myself, but I'm definitely going to, talk to my wife and be like, hey, baby, you might want to try a couple of these things, right? So one of the things that I'm definitely going to do, this is just for me, and this is coming from a book for women, right? I'm about to do that hot water drinking, right? So, I make teas, start drinking tea more often, and this is going to help my metabolism. Well, I'd like to slow down the aging process. That would be really nice. So how do we achieve that? We achieve that with a full circle picture on how we move forward, right? So the way that we eat, the way we exercise, drinking warm water throughout the day, getting proper sleep, getting a lot of sunlight, making sure we have goals, taking some time to reshape perspective on self in the realms of regress trauma, right? All of these things put us in a much, much, much more fantastic position to achieve our dreams, to age slower, to have more vitality, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about Ayurveda and this book, The Ageless Woman. They're giving away some of those pieces of information that I think we all need. So with that, I say peace to all y'all, and I say, hey, keep doing your thing and expose your gift.